Okay, at this point you've already seen me do one of the examples for A. Right now I'll go through how to do the other ones. So circumference is 25, and this one's harder because there's no pi after it, so the circumference is just 25. Remember, the formula for circumference is pi times diameter. So that means I'm going to have to divide both sides by pi, so I'm going to just have to plug that into my calculator. I just do the pi times diameter by 25 divided by pi. Okay, so I grab my calculator, I take 25 and I divide by pi. If you have a pi key on your calculator, use the pi key, that's always better. Okay, and if you have, if you don't have a pi key, do you see that? Oh, that was Moose there getting in the way. If you don't have a pi key, then use 3.1415. Okay. Okay, so use that. But please, if you have it, use the pi key. If you're using your phone for this, it has a pi key. Your distance then, not distance, diameter 7.96 if we're going to round off. And it says the nearest hundredth there. Okay, so my diameter, I'm going to change that. Okay, now on my calculator, I'm going to get the radius by dividing by 2. And divide that by 2, I get 3.98. Okay, meters. Now when I go to do the area is pi r squared. So I'm going to plug in that 3.98. Now, I wouldn't clear your calculator. I'd use the answer you have, then just hit the squared key, and then times it by the pi key. Okay? And if you use the answer and square it and then times it by the pi key, you'll get 49.74. Okay? If you're off by a tenth or something here, it's not a big deal. Alright, not the end of the world if we're off here. A lot of times when you have these ones that round, I'll tell you to round to the nearest unit just so we don't have to worry about that so much. Okay, so that's how we do that one. If I'm going to go, right, let me go down and take a look at this next one here, C. Okay, it seems like the delay is coming in here a little bit because my computer battery's a little low, but right, we'll do the best we can. Okay, so we have pi r squared, right? Area is pi r squared, so I'm going to divide by pi. Okay, so we have 18 equals r squared. Okay, well, this one I said we can leave exact. Okay, well, I can take the square root of 18. That one works. Okay, if I take the square, then that reduces down to 3 square roots of 2 because we've been doing that for a while. Remember, 9 and 2, and the square root of 9 is a regular 3. Okay, so that's my radius is 3 root 2 feet. Okay. Remember that the diameter is going to be, the diameter is twice the radius, so you just times that by 2. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6 root 2 feet. Okay, circumference is pi times the diameter. There's my diameter, just times it by pi. Notice I'm very careful that the pi is way at the end there, right? When I'm doing this, notice how it's way at the end. That's what you want to look for there. Okay, try to make sure it's at the very end. Okay, the rest of these are going to round. Why are we rounding them? Because there's no pi's after it. That's how I made that choice. Okay, so circumference equals pi times diameter. The circumference is 18. Don't put a pi symbol there. If there's not a pi symbol, don't add one in. Right? So we'll divide both sides by pi. Right? Divide both sides by pi. Okay, which cancels that. And now you have your calculator. So you grab your calculator and you do on your calculator 18 divided by pi. If you're using your phone's calculator, you may have to turn it sideways so you can actually see the pi key. If you turn it sideways, you get a whole bunch more. And so this gives me that the diameter is approximately 5.73. We're around it. I'm going to change that equals to approximately so people know I rounded it off. Okay. Divide that by 2. Just hit divide by 2 in your calculator, and then it will automatically take that number and divide it by 2. Okay. Now some people say, hey, wait a sec, right? This number right here, if I were to actually cut it in half, it's not exactly. Yes, because we're rounding there. There's going to be some issues. Okay, let's go ahead and do the area. Okay, area equals pi r squared. Okay, so I'm going to do that, I'm going to plug the radius of 2.86 in. Okay, again, I'm using my answer key on not my answer. I'm just going to take the answer that's there. I'm going to hit the squared key because you square it first, and then I'm going to do times and then the pi key. Hit enter, and you'll get your answer of 25.78. You have to be careful. Make sure that you're doing the order of operations. Make sure that you're squaring this first. You square the number, then times pi. Remember, exponents, right? Exponents come before multiplication. Okay, as we do that. Okay. All right, so that's how we do those examples. I'll continue on. These next one here. All right, area is the formula is pi r squared. So you write your formula first, and then we know that we are given that the area was 18 here. So I'm just going to replace the area with 18. Okay. I need to solve for r. How do I solve for r? Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is divide by pi from both sides. Okay. And now I'm going to take out my calculator and I'll put into it, again turning it sideways on my phone because I'm using my phone for this, 18 divided by pi, so I get approximately 5.73. And then don't even retype that in your calculator, just hit the square root key. And if you don't see a square root on yours, because you're I'm on my phone, I hit the second button, and then you might see it magically appear. Oh wait, mine was there. Sorry, mine was there. It's a square root key, so I got 2 point. Right, so the radius is approximately 2.39. Okay, so I'm just plugging it into my calculator. Okay, to get my diameter, I times that by 2, so I get approximately 4.79. Make sure you round. Okay, and then circumference is pi times diameter, so just take that diameter and times it by the pi key, and you'll get approximately 15.04. All these units, I see feet were my units, so radius is measured in feet, diameter is measured in feet, and circumference is measured in feet. The only thing measured in square feet is area. Right, so we don't need to do that other one. So right, I have all of these labeled for myself. Okay. F is going to be really the same exact problem but with different numbers, so it'll be a great time to hit pause button and try it on your own. All right, but I'll start going through it. So you write your formula first. Area is pi r squared. All right, replace the area with 24. Divide both sides by pi. Okay, why are we dividing by pi? We're trying to get the radius by itself. Okay, and go to your calculator and do 24 divided by, and then hit the pi key. So I get 7.64. So my radius squared is 7.64 or so. I know that there's a whole bunch of decimals after it. Okay, hit the square root key, and you get that the radius is approximately 2.76. Okay. Now folks, same thing, times it by 2. That gives me my diameter, times it by pi, and that gives me my circumference. Let's see, inches. Inches for radius, because radius is a length. Diameter, that's how long it is, so that's also inches. Circumference, how long around the circle, right, for ourselves, so that's also in inches. So, okay, we have inches for all of those. Okay. All right, so those are those examples.